Hey there everyone, Death here again. So the last video I went over some of the basic maneuvers you can use. Today's video I figured I would throw in some live examples and delve into some of the more advanced techniques that I used. So I have a few replays for you here today which I'm going to be commenting over and just explaining my mindset and actually what is going on with the controls. So this first replay I'm flying out the Bf-110, a rank 2 German heavy fighter, and I just want to demonstrate with this one what good flap and throttle control can do. So I'll begin by chasing down this B-34. He kind of just flies into my flight path here and I was unable to resist. I do stay on him a bit too long. I kind of got tunnel visioned, but once I see the critical hit on his tail I immediately pull off, knowing that that's him pretty much out of the game. And this is where I noticed the P-38E coming in. Now the P-38 is a very capable fighter. At this tier it's arguably one of the best fighters on par with the 109s. I mean, he has insane speed retention against me, and I'm actually going to use that speed against him. So I begin by turning into him with full pitch, so again L1 to avoid that merge and prevent him from getting a shot in the head on. Now that he's overshot, I need to open up some distance, so I do this by going into a kind of rolling scissor maneuver, and this is going to allow me to equalize the energy states. So here he's just overshot again. He realizes his mistake and he goes vertical. Instead of directly following this, I go into a low yo-yo, and I'm going to set up a counter attack of sorts here. So as he reaches the top of his turn, I go full vertical with full flaps. This allows me to drop down on top of him very fast, and he passes underneath me. Fortunately, he does the right thing by going vertical again here, so I just pull outside of his turn radius using light pursuit angles to deny him any kind of a shot, and I go for the counter attack again here. So once again I go full vertical, he passes in front of me and I drop back down using L1 for the pitch. This time I get a very good angle, but my shots just fall short. He tries for the vertical once again, but this time we've opened up enough lead that I'm able to actually pull lead for a shot here, and the MG151s make very quick work of him. This next clip is more situational awareness than anything, so I'm flying out the premium Dora. This is the German Focke-Wulf 190, the D13, with the 4 nose-mounted MG151s. And basically I'm diving on the Spitfire when I see the F6F, which pops in behind me. Now, I know from experience, I mean I've flown these F6Fs at least a little bit, and I know they lose a lot of speed in the vertical. So I'll make my attack on the Spitfire, just make a brief check behind me. I'm always getting a habit of doing this, and I do spot the F6F there, so I'm aware of him. I continue my attack on the Spitfire. I'm really not that concerned about the F6F at this point. And I look around against it just to check the energy states, and sure enough, he is coming up for me here, so he's going to follow me straight up. And I'm just going to go ahead and kind of bait him here, so I put my plane into a full vertical here, so I'm going to lose a ton of speed, again kind of baiting him up here. And as you can see from the rate that he's closing, he is literally falling out of the sky. He's not got the speed to keep this up, and I just bring out the flaps to the top there, and he drops down shortly after, allowing me to get a good shot in there. So timing is key with this. You know, you have to be very good at looking at energy states and deciding, you know, that's the risk factor in this maneuver. But it's very basic, very easy to understand. You know, there's not much that needs explaining on the control side there. Just get in the habit of looking out for this and knowing when to take advantage of it. It's very surprising how many people will fall for this, even at this battle rating. So the Dora, the D13, is a 5.0 battle rating, and honestly this happens all the time at this BR. So just get in the habit of watching out for it, keep looking around with your camera, and again, know when to take advantage of it. The final clip for today, I'm flying out the heavy Focke-Wulf 190 A8, the American premium variant with the 4 MG151s. This plane suffers very badly in the energy retention. The extra weight from the guns really do slow this down considerably, but obviously they more than make up for in their damage output. So I just take off the wing of this BF-109 G6. I kind of caught him in his climb here, and as I'm climbing back up, there is going to be this Focke-Wulf 190 D13. And again, I'm going to use the same trick here that I used against the P-38 in the first example. So I see the D13 pop in. I begin the merge by just sending some shots his way just to unnerve him a little bit. I follow his turn here using lag pursuit again to keep outside of his guns, and I switch to lead pursuit now and again just to close up the distance. Mainly because the last thing I want to do now is extend away and open up too much distance. You know, he performs me in every aspect, so I need to keep this rate of closure to avoid him getting a shot. Again, I'm using L1 for the pitch and controlling the direction with the roll on the right stick. And we're basically going to wind up going into this kind of a vertical rolling scissor maneuver. And at the top, I'm going to set the counter attack up. So again, full vertical with the flaps, and I'm going to drop down on top of him as he passes underneath me. I don't quite get the nose around in time on this attempt, so I'm just going to go straight back up and do the same thing again. So again, flaps out to increase my lift, full vertical. This will slow me down and he's going to drop down beneath me. That gives me a position directly behind him, and because we've opened up the distance, I'm able to get some shots in, and he can roll all he wants, but there's no avoiding those 4 MG151s. And that is going to bring us to the end of today's video. Just some short examples there of what you can really do as a controller player. When it comes down to it, it's all about outsmarting your opponent and learning how to outfly them. So hopefully you've learned a thing or two here from these videos. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, death.